station. So if I turn the camera around, that's back to the Ramblers and the Chained Oak, and we're now heading up here, avoiding this mud, to take us to the railway station at ALTON. So in another 6 or 7 minutes we should be there, and obviously I will do plenty of footage for you to have a look at, and obviously explain a bit of the history about the station. So we've been up to the Chained Oak, obviously met a lady and I think a daughter who had never been here, and she was telling her the story about the Chained Oak as well, which was kind of the same as what I said on the last live stream. So I had a bit of a chat. It'll be on the footage, so obviously you can listen back to that. But we're heading up here now to the railway station at ALTON. So we'll get going. And it's 1:30 in the afternoon. So welcome to those that are joining. So that's looking back now towards the Ramblers. And obviously it's well quiet, and if you follow this path it takes you to Denstone, which will take 2 hours in total, as it's 4 miles to walk, and then it's 4 miles back, so that's 8 miles in total, which will take you 4 hours. But you could spend 8 hours here, yes, because there's lots of places that you can explore. So we're just going to have a walk along here now to the station. So, but it's well used by dog walkers and of course cyclists as well. Because last time I came down here, which was a year or so ago, in fact it was a year ago, next month, there were a load of kids on bikes going along here, because obviously Denstone College is quite close. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, but just up there on the hill, and you might be able to see it, I'll zoom through, you can see one of the castles at ALTON Towers. So that's part of the Towers buildings. Well, it's part of ALTON Towers, you can just see it through there, look. See the turrets on there? Just through the trees just there. So obviously that takes you back to the Ramblers where we've come from. So it gives you an idea of where we are, really. So ALTON Towers is up there in those trees. When you go up on Earls Rock, which I'm going to do a bit later, you'll be able to see ALTON Towers, and obviously the Oblivion ride you can normally see up there as well. And you can usually watch it drop down. It's drop. So, but anyway, we'll proceed up here, because we've got a few minutes yet until we get to ALTON Station. That's the road across there, which you come from ALTON, and you basically it follows the river, which is technically the River Churnet, which then meets the River Dove down at Uttoxeter. So the Churnet is quite a long river, because it goes obviously from the River Dove at Uttoxeter all the way up to Leek. So it's a good 30 miles at least, to be fair. And obviously the River Trent goes from Stoke right the way through the Midlands up to Hull in Yorkshire. So it goes quite a way up, that river does. One of the longest in the UK, I suppose. So, and obviously the River Thames goes from London right the way through to the other side of Oxford. So there's quite a lot of information you can learn there. And the River Severn is another long river, because that goes from like Chester right the way down to the Severn Estuary towards Bristol. So that's a long river. So you do learn a lot of information when you look at maps and you perhaps go on Google or Wikipedia. But yes, what a fantastic area this is. So we're almost at the station. It's down around this next corner or so now. So we'll proceed down there, and obviously I'll do some more footage for you and take some photographs. So it's at CarlSmith25 to subscribe if you're not subscribed. So we'll proceed down here. I mean, there is somebody walking a dog behind, but they're quite a way back, so I'm kind of the only person here at the minute, which is great because it gives me a chance to talk to you guys on the YouTube, and obviously you can join the stream whenever. So we're now approaching the station. So as I've said, we are now approaching the station at ALTON. You can just see the platform ahead of us now. So if I just stop, So we're 5 minutes in just about, and there's the platform of the station there, and the left-hand side as well. So we'll continue to walk up because it's quite a long platform to walk, and then obviously there's the station buildings and the bridge the other end. So you're now going to be transported back to 1960s UK, and just imagine 2 tracks on the floor in between these platforms, as we're now arriving at ALTON station. So you can just imagine, can't you, walking along, the trains coming along this now, which is with the old track, pulling into this station, the horn sounding, the steam flowing, obviously the driver and the engine master putting coal in to keep the train going, slowing it down. So here's your platforms of ALTON station. So you've obviously got the platform this side, which was for Uttoxeter, and then this side was for Leek and probably Stoke-on-Trent. So this is ALTON station in Staffordshire. So we've now entered it, and there's a couple of cyclists coming, so I'll make sure I'm out of the way. Or you can just imagine the trains coming through here now in the 1960s. So we'll go down towards the bridge, and I'll do some photos and video as well. Got a couple of cyclists just gone through there, but wow. So here we are then, ALTON station. And there's the bridge at the other end. So we'll go to the bridge and obviously show you the buildings, because it's fantastic, honestly. It's like nostalgia. I'm basically walking through history. You're going back to the 1960s just by watching this now. Obviously I wasn't alive then, I was born in the early 80s. But what nostalgia you're going to see. So that's the road just up there which goes to ALTON Towers, which is behind those trees. So here we are at ALTON station, so we've literally come all the way along where the platforms are now. So you can just see the grand scale of how long it is, actually. So the platforms are just intact, particularly this right-hand side one. They're just intact. So it's brilliant, isn't it? So you've got like the old station master's house and buildings, and obviously the one at the top there as well. And then you've got like the waiting room just here on the left, look, with the shelter and the bench. But yeah, this is like the old station master's house, which I believe is a private residence. But this building here on the left is occasionally open to the public, so I believe. But that's like the old waiting room. You can imagine sitting up there, can't you, on that bench, just waiting for your train to come, hearing the whistle of the engine as it's approaching or departing. And then you've got the steps just there, look, going up to the road. And obviously the bridge, which you would go under to go to Denstone. So, absolutely fantastic nostalgia. So we're at ALTON station in Staffordshire. Wow, just like going back in time. So we'll head towards the end of the platforms, so you've got a full scale of it now. And there's the steps that go up to the road. So you could literally stand on top of that bridge up there and get a full view of the station from up there, which I may do. I may go up those steps and do a photograph. Somebody's left the bike helmet as well. But maybe go on top of that bridge up there and just get some footage, not the other side so much, but looking this way. Because it's just nostalgia. And you've even got an old sign on this gate, look. Please respect the privacy of our guests. The Landmark Trust. Now they're the ones that own this building, and occasionally members of the public can stay there. So we'll go under the bridge. But can you just imagine now, under this old bridge, the trains coming through here. You know, the track going through there, and the track going this way. All the way to Denstone, Uttoxeter that way, ALTON that way. So can you just imagine the trains going through this tunnel and obviously you can see the black on the roof where the smoke has hit it. Obviously there's cobwebs and all sorts of creatures probably living here, but there's loads of cobwebs hanging around. But you can tell the trains have come through because the roof is black with soot from when the trains have been chuffing through here. What an amazing bit of nostalgia there, and then there's the station again. So we've got these steps just on the left-hand side. Oh yes, we've got these steps. You should get to the top of the bridge where that fence is and you can have a good look over. Just imagine yourself. And we've got a fantastic view of Alton Castle. So I'm going to get that in as well. Because this is the main road that goes to Alton Towers. Wow, what a view of the castle. So we've got Alton sign. If I pan the camera up, there's Alton Castle up there, look. Look at that. Never been to Alton Castle. Because I don't think you can visit it. I think it's a nunnery where nuns go to now. Or a youth hostel. But look at it up there. Like Dracula's castle. Wow. So, let's go and have a look at the railway track without getting run over. Go in front of these cars. There's Alton Station again. Fantastic view now. Looking down there to Alton Station. So right on top of the bridge. So I'll get some photographs in a minute. That's really good. Along the railway in a minute to the Ramblers. So we'll head back along the railway track to the Ramblers and do some more walks, but man, that's just brilliant. That's made my afternoon now. And I could even go across to the gate just over here because this car's on its own. And obviously you can see on this gate that you have to book through that number, and obviously it's landmarktrust.org.uk. And that's the road that goes to Alton Towers up there. But now you've got a good view of the station now, look, and the platforms. Brilliant. Another view of the castle. Fantastic view. See right up there. I presume that's another path down there, but I'm not going to go. We're going to head back down these steps, back to the Ramblers Retreat. Look, fantastic. Alton Castle just in the distance. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So I'll pan the camera round. There's the castle up on the hill. Alton Castle. Just right there, look. Obviously, if you pan the camera round, obviously Alton Towers is up there. But for those of you that are perhaps watching, I'll go and show you the station just over this bridge. It's got a fantastic view of the castle there, look behind me. Let me head up here. And then I can pan the camera round. And there's Alton Station, just below. You can just see where the track used to be, the buildings there, and we're obviously on top of the bridge. That takes you back to the Ramblers Retreat, and then obviously that direction, which is across that road there, takes you to Alton, to Danston, and obviously you can get to your Toxteth Roaster. So there's Alton Station, just below here. So I've come up the steps up the side, and we're going to go back down there now. So we'll head down there now. Show you another view of the castle, and we'll head down the steps. So it's quite easy to find it, really. So you've got a fantastic view of the castle early up there. I mean, that's just amazing. That's footage I've never done before. And obviously now we're near the arch of the bridge. You see where we've just stood at the top of there. So now you're looking down onto the tracks again, the platforms and the building. So we're going to proceed back to the Ramblers Retreat and go the other side of the Dimmingsdale. Because you could spend hours just admiring it and the nostalgia. So that's again the bridge, and obviously looking into the station there. Absolutely fantastic. And you go up there for the steps to get to where I've just been.